Where does it all go down? Where can I go in this town?
Welcome to Encore Cigar Lounge. I'm Chuck, also known as Blue, and this is Cigaring with Chuck. Today we have with us Chris Whaley from EPC or EP Carrillo Cigars. How's it going?
It's going well, buddy. How about you?
I'm doing great.
And again, I'm very appreciative. I thank you all so much for allowing me to come onto the show and be a part of it, Chuck. I, again, can't thank you enough, man.
Chris,
Sir.
we are smoking my favorite EP Carrillo cigar.
That was by accident, right?
And that's the Encore.
Encore, yes, sir.
What can you tell me about the Encore?
So the Encore was our first, I say our first, it was Ernesto's first Nicaraguan Puro. And so Puro meaning it was all Nicaraguan tobacco. He had never done it before. And so Nicaraguan wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, all Nicaraguan filler. And we released it in 2018 and came out that March. And then at the end of the year, we were blessed with Cigar of the Year on his very first kind of soiree into Nicaraguan tobacco, being his first Puro. So it's a great cigar, light spice coming off of it. It's our labor of love. It's the most complex cigar that we make in the entire lineup. And still to this day continues to be Ernesto's favorite cigar.
And my favorite cigar. What size is this?
It's
kind of different.
That's the El Primero. So that's our largest size, 6 7/8 by 54 ring gauge, semi-box pressed. Ernesto calls it semi-box pressed. He said, well, I left the sides round. So it's semi-box pressed on the top and the bottom. Right?
So where are you from?
So I'm originally from Encore, Tennessee, born and raised.
Tennessee man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And sometimes the university even accepts me as one of their people. So it's a good thing.
Cool. And how'd you get to Georgia from Encore? You live in Georgia now, right?
I live in Georgia, yes, sir. So it's kind of middle of the territory. So with EPC, I've covered a lot of different territories over the years. But now I'm North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. So Atlanta continues to sit right in the dead center of the territory. So it just makes the travel schedule a whole lot easier.
When did you get into cigars?
Oh, gosh. 2000. So I was away at school in Louisville, Kentucky. And I didn't smoke. Played sports. And obviously from the South, smoking's taboo. And so you'd never smoked. Well, all of my roommates did. And they all smoked cigars. And my girlfriend at that point in time, and thank you, Christy, my girlfriend at that point in time hated cigars. Absolutely despised cigars. And so we'd gotten into a pretty good fight. And I came walking out of the back and looked at my roommates and said, all right, let's go get a cigar. And so went down to the local shop, Oxmoor Smoke Shop, which at that point in time was in the mall, still is in the mall in Louisville, but you were allowed to smoke inside. Uh-huh. And so we went down there and grabbed a cigar from Jason Shepard, and he was on working the till that day, so got my first cigar from him. It was an Arturo Fuente Chateau Sungrown. So that was the first cigar that I ever smoked. And it was all thanks to a big fight with my girlfriend and trying to get back at her. And so it worked out well.
So you chose a cigar.
That's it, right? 23 years later, here we sit.
You chose a cigar over a woman?
Most certainly. It doesn't talk back. There's so many great things about this.
If it was this one, it's got good flavor.
Right. Now, well, that's Encore continues to be our labor of love. It took us, I say us like I had something to do with it. It took Ernesto right at 3 years to get the cigar where he wanted it to be before he released it. Our first trade show in 2016, we were going to come out with Encore in 2016 in July. And we get to the trade show, and the day of the trade show, he looks and goes, get a key, lock away all the samples. Nobody's smoking it. So everybody's coming to see this cigar. And he grinned and goes, it's just not ready. So here we are. We load everything up, put it away. So 2017, we're out there ready to go again. We get a phone call from Jefe, and Ernesto says, lock it up. It's not ready. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding. So fast forward to 2018, and we released it again in the month of March. He came in January and laid the box in front of me and says, it's ready to go. And I grinned. I went, okay, yeah, I've heard that story for 3 years. And so we finally released it at that point in time. And what he did he went back to old school Cuban methods of aging the tobacco. He couldn't get the wrapper leaf where he wanted it to be, so he wrapped it in tertia, which is essentially the bark of a tree. And so all the tobacco was wrapped in the bark of this tree. And great idea. Left it wrapped for 10 months. And so when the wrapper leaf finally went onto the cigar in production, by the time it got to the States, the wrapper leaf alone was a year old. And everything else in the cigar had obviously been aged at that point in time as well. So you got truly our labor of love when it comes to the production of Encore.
Man, that's quite a story.
Right?
Yeah. A lot went into this cigar.
A ton. And, again, we were coming off of 2014. We released La Historia, and it immediately became the number 2 cigar of the year. So in 2016, the idea was to come out with the Encore, as in Encore to La Historia. And,
which is a good cigar.
Fantastic cigar.
Dark wrapper.
Yes, sir. San Andres Maduro. And beautiful cigar, amazing cigar. And I'll tell you a story about that one in a second. But the Encore came out, again, the idea was 2016. Well, 2018, we finally come out with it, and all of us grumbling and moaning, and Ernesto knocks it out with Cigar of the Year that year. We went, well, okay, we guess we can't complain too much about it. So it was a fun year. It was a fun year to be a salesperson.
Oh, that's great. You married now?
I am married, have 2 kids. Amy, my wife, is a school teacher down in Georgia, and she's a school teacher pretty much everywhere she's been. But now down in Georgia, and then my 2 kids got Wendy, 12, just turned it on Tuesday, and then of course my son Eli, who's a trip, is 7 years old now.
He's like his dad.
Oh gosh, there's a lot of things that I can't claim about some family members, but my goodness, he belongs to me.
Good.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but he does belong to me.
How did you get in the industry?
I smoked a lot. Literally, I sat on a couch, smoked a ton, got offered a job working Sundays because I was doing homework inside the shop, and the owner says, "Hey, would you like a job?" I said, "Not really." And he goes, "You're down here on Sunday anyway, you can continue to do your homework and you smoke free." I went, "Oh, okay." So
It's something about that word free.
Right? It's great. It's great. So when I moved back to Knoxville in 2003, I literally just walked into a shop, and the shop was making some changes, and wound up losing a couple of people, and I fell in love with the place. Great selection, and was talking with the owner, and he said, "Well, would you like a job?" I went, "Well, sure, why not? Sounds a whole lot better than school." So I went to work at that point in time. It's been about 15 years on the retail side of everything before jumping ship and repping for EPC in 15.
How'd you get into becoming a rep?
I sold a lot of cigars. So the first, I smoked a lot, and that's how I got hired.
Right.
So if you want to get hired, all you got to do, Chuck, is spend a lot of time sitting on somebody's couch and smoking a lot of cigars and spending money with them. And then you become friends, and they offer you a job.
Right.
And then to become a rep, you spend a lot of time behind the counter.
Some R&D.
Right? That's it. You spend a lot of time behind the counter selling somebody's cigars.
Yeah.
And then you get a phone call from them going, "Hey, you've been doing a pretty good job. Would you like to come work for us?" So now the position with EPC opened up in 2015. They decided to go in-house after using a couple brokers. And so they decided to go in-house. And I happened to be working in Knoxville at the EPC lounge. And so we got a phone call and asked if anybody was interested. And I said, "I can be." And so took it home to my wife and said, "Hey, listen, here's the deal. What do you think?" She goes, "Go do it." So I made sure that it was her decision, not just mine.
That's right.
So that there were no issues at that point in
Smart
time.
man.
That's it. That's it.
Man, that's a wonderful story.
So what do you think about the cigar?
I love this cigar. I smoked this cigar. I smoked it yesterday, actually.
Right?
Great smoke. Always a good burn. It's real light.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean anything?
Not at all.
No?
Not
Yeah,
at all.
some just feel thick.
Right.
And
Feels thick and heavy.
This one feels really light.
Yeah.
And it's not a small stick.
No, not at all. Not at all. Like I said, 67/8 by 54. One of the neat things about that cigar, Chuck, is that in the filler, you've got a lot of different growing regions, but the three main regions in Nicaragua are going to be North Jalapa, known for the sweet tobacco. You've got the South, Condega Valley, which is known for strong, spicy tobacco. And then you've got Esteli in the middle, known for, well, the best of both, right? Sweetness and spice, strength and it all mixes.
I've heard of Esteli, quite a bit.
Yes. Yes. So
Jalapa.
And so we took, what we did, I say we again, Ernesto.
You can say we, man.
Fair enough. Before I came on board, he didn't have a number one cigar. Now he's got two, so there is a correlation.
Hey, what good is the gun without the bullets?
There you go. Yeah. He took tobacco from all three regions to really represent the entire country in that cigar.
Okay.
Also look at the band. So on the band of the cigar, you can see on the left-hand side,
I see a woman.
that's Ernesto's mother.
Okay.
And in the background, that's the tobacco fields of Cuba.
Ah.
And then on the right-hand side,
I see another woman.
that's Lisette Perez Carrillo, Ernesto's daughter. And that's the Miami skyline. And we started using that band on La Historia. And the band actually came before the cigar. Lisette designed the band, came walking in, laid it down on Ernesto's desk. And Ernesto said, "What's this?" She said, "That's your next cigar." "My next cigar?" She says, "Yes." He said, "Well, that's Mom on the left-hand side." She said, "Yeah, and the tobacco field's cute." He goes, "Huh?" He said, "And that's you on the right-hand side." She says, "Yes, with the Miami skyline." He said, "In La Historia," she said, "Yes, you're going to tell the history of the family from Cuba to Miami in your next cigar." And he said, "What am I supposed to do?" She said, "I don't care what you do, just don't screw it up." And so, so we came out with La Historia in 2014, and he released it at the trade show. And everybody that smoked it, I mean, I was in retail at that point in time, and we knew he had a hit on his hand.
Great.
And La Historia became the number 2 cigar of the year that year. So he did not mess it up at all.
Good. That's a great story also. Man, you're full of good stories.
I've been with the company for a day or two. So... We didn't do a cigar in 2019 just because of Encore. So, I mean, we took a break in 19 to catch up with sales and everything from it and production, really. 2020, during the pandemic year, we released The Pledge, which is our, by a mile, fullest bodied cigar. Mm-hmm. Ton of spice, lots of body. Still that underlying sweetness that Ernesto's known for in all of his blends. But that cigar became a hit overnight.
It's a great cigar.
Wound up becoming the 2020 cigar of the year.
2020 cigar of the year.
So, and just to give you a little bit on...
Do you have one of those in the bag?
I do, as a matter of fact. Of course. So,
we'll pull out the story. We'll pull them all out. And
there's La Historia.
The La Historia. Beautiful cigar. I love that band.
And there she is, Cigar of the Year, 2020.
The Pledge.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loves The Pledge.
It's hard not to.
I still like this Encore better.
Oh, they had the Encore. It's funny if you start talking with people and you ask. And I did essentially 3 events in 4 days. And the first shop we went into, and of course Pledge at this point in time is Cigar of the Year, right? 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Cigar of the Year into 2020. So here we are in 2021, and we do 3 events in 4 days. And the first shop we go into, man, they got Encore front and center. I went, Encore, not Pledge? You know our shop. We love Encore. We sold the fool out of Encore all night long. Now we sold everything else, but Encore was the one.
Yeah.
Then the next shop we go into, well, there's his Pledge up top. Like, there we go. Got the Cigar of the Year, my favorite cigar that we make. We killed it with Pledge that night. Third shop that we went to in 4 days, they got La Historia out front. I went, wow. And it's one of those things.
It's the way it is, man.
Where you can smoke all three, and you talk with 10 different people, you're going to get, all of them are going to have different answers to which one they like the best. So it's not like it's overwhelmingly Pledge or overwhelmingly Historia or overwhelmingly Encore. So it's truly a balance across all three as far as that goes.
I mean, you have another one that's
We
doing
do
really
have
well.
a brand new release, the Allegiance,
The Allegiance.
which Ernesto did using all of Oliva's tobacco. So Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper on that one, all Nicaraguan binder and filler. And so that's, we released that one back in November of last year. And a lot of great feedback coming from that cigar right now. So we're excited about this year. Just got a 94 rating in Aficionado. So we'll see what
That's
happens.
big, a 94 rating.
You better believe it.
And that's the one with the green band on it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's awesome. What's your hobby?
Smoking. Smoking and golf. Love both of those. Golf probably the biggest hobby.
What's something about you that most people don't know about you?
Something that
When
most
you walk
people
in the
don't
room
know.
and if you say I do this or I did this, like skydive or something.
Not afraid of heights, so don't like heights, don't like spiders. And now
Yeah.
that being said, my son bought a remote control spider so that he could chase me around the house. And so Daddy looks like he's in the Olympics. And I could have beat Carl Lewis, I'm pretty sure. Usain Bolt, he's got nothing on me if we're getting chased by a spider. He's going down.
It's time to go.
That's it. As far as something that nobody knows, I tend to be an open book, man.
You let it out.
I do. I don't. There's not a whole lot that I hide, and
So you have a personal relationship with Ernesto.
I do. Yes. And
E as in Ernesto, P
Perez, Carrillo.
Carrillo.
So EPC, and Ernesto's the best. Like he truly is. We talk about it a lot. I mean, I've been with the company since
Carrillo.
2015. So I've been with them a long time, and we laugh about being family, but that's essentially what you become.
Right.
And it still amazes me. I'm still blown away to this day that I pick up a phone and I call the man, and the guy that's still one of the greatest blenders of all time in this industry picks up the phone. Hey, Whaley, what are you doing? And here we go. We'll talk for 15, 20 minutes. And it's just a phone call away.
He calls you what?
Oh, yeah. And we asked about that at one point in time. One of the guys said, you do understand that there's no T in his name. He goes, I just like the way it sounds a whole lot better than Whaley. And I was like, you can call me whatever you want, buddy. You just keep making great cigars and keep signing my check. We're good.
Good. That's great.
You were talking about something about me that nobody knows. I've obviously got some pants. And
Everybody knows you got some pants.
everybody does now, but what they don't know is that I started this back in like 04, 05, somewhere in there. And Mom got upset with Dad because Dad won't wear anything other than black and navy. And so she's like, well, I've got to dress up somebody. And so she started every Christmas, I wound up with a pair of just crazy pants. So
Make sure you get a picture of these pants.
Savage Flamingo.
This is mild.
I say it kind of is, but they get out there, and I enjoy it. And somebody asked me at one point in time, I said, why in the world would you do that? I said, well, there's two reasons. One, I think it's fun. It makes me laugh, and I get entertained by it. I mean, I've taken pictures in airports and, Kroger's wearing pants like this. People come up, and they're like, hey, we got to get a picture with you. Okay. But so I like it because it stands out. You get noticed. But what's more important is we sell. And everybody sells cigars, right? I mean, you got a ton of different salespeople that come rolling through. And while you may not remember the guy's name that does it, especially early on starting out, you always remember the pants.
You remember those
And
pants.
so
The guy with the pants.
That's the guy with the pants. We need his stuff. And so it worked out really well as a sales technique.
It works. It works. Your personality, the pants, and you're good at what you do.
I appreciate that.
And
Chuck.
thank you for coming by and hanging out with us, man.
Hey, man, y'all are the best.
Stop in here with us at any time. You've been cigaring with Chuck, and our host our co-host, Chris Whaley.
Guys, y'all have a good day. Thanks again.
Our guest was Chris Whaley. Hey, come and see us at Encore Cigar Lounge at 246 North Ocoee Street, Cleveland, Tennessee. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, and our webpage. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page where you can find all of our videos.